This is getting more and more complicated. Yes, as you probably guessed, I, Sam Valentino, private toon detective, am talking once again about another big hurdle that could likely prevent Paramount-Skydance from succeeding in buying out and merging with Warner Bros. Discovery. In addition to the merger being put on hold until next year, starting October 1st, Paramount has to pay Warner Bros. Shareholders $7 million per day until the merger is finalized, and then Warner would gain leverage to renegotiate with Paramount, especially since those Ellison mugs are already overpaying way too much to get their hands on the Warner Bros. Empire and potentially destroy it. A former California Attorney General has also speculated that the other state Attorney Generals might just want someone else other than the evil Paramount-Skydance to buy Warner Bros. Discovery assets. And yeah, from what I've been gathering, it looks like the Ellisons won't be able to afford buying Warner Bros. Discovery after all. And from the start, they are already starting to pay more than they could afford, which is why they got financial backup from Saudi Arabia. And that is another reason why so many are opposed to this deal, with several saying it could become a threat to national security. A Warner Bros. Executive also said about this, quote, "Nobody wants this merger. But what happens if it fails? Is that worse? We'll just be sold to someone else." But to be fair, if Amazon or Comcast or even Netflix bought out Warner Brothers, they'd still be nowhere as bad as Paramount-Skydance, a facade for the evil company formerly known as the VM2. Indeed, their looming Viacom logo is just a horror ripoff of our looming WB shield. Hoo! I wouldn't put it that way, Daffy. If anything, we must have been inspired by some similar fake Sesame Street inserts in the early 70s. But enough about that meme. Alternatively, should the merger fail, Warner Bros. Discovery could go back to the plan they came up with last year, split off the Warner Bros. Studio and library and streaming assets from Discovery Global. Also, in a fairly shocking development, the United Kingdom has also just approved of the buyout. Jeez! I'm betting the Ellisons must have bribed them or something, the way they and President Trump apparently bribed the American Department of Justice to approve of the deal. Now it's all up to the state attorney generals and the Writers Guild of America's lawsuits to make sure this merger doesn't happen once and for all. Paramount will be in a lot of debt if the merger fails, especially since in addition to the daily $7 million payments to the Warner Bros. Shareholders, they could face a $7 billion breakup fee to Warner Bros. Should the merger fail. But hey, it'd be karma for those dastardly Ellisons and their immature, cartoonish actions. Because if the merger were to succeed, then Warner Bros. Discovery would also end up in a huge financial pickle. It'd be like the Penn Central Railroad merger all over again, as I've discussed before. Alternatively, if Paramount succeeds in buying and merging Warner Brothers, it's very likely it won't last very long, and they'll split up a year or two afterward, not unlike the AOL Time Warner merger of the early 2000s, and of course the Warner Brothers 7 Arts merger of the late 1960s. Though in that case, when Kinney National bought out Warner Bros. In 1969, they snuffed out 7 Arts in the process, and it's pretty much why the animation studio closed that year, only to reopen in 1980, 8 years into the Warner Communications era. And I'm already pretty certain that if this merger succeeds, it'll shut down Warner Bros. Animation in the process, as I've already discovered. Yeah, I don't like repeating myself either, bub. Indeed. But should the merger fail, and even if Paramount-Skydance ends up in a lot of debt, Warner Bros. Discovery won't be in it as much, thanks to those daily $7 million payments to the Warner shareholders and the $7 billion breakup fee that would happen. But it's still definitely a scary time to be a WB cartoon fan. Also hoping that Coyote vs. ACME will be a financial critical success when it comes out in less than 3 weeks. At least Ketchup Entertainment is doing a somewhat better job marketing it than they did with Daffy Porky's The Day the Earth Blew Up movie, as I mentioned, along with MeTV Toons even planning a little Roadrunner marathon on it. At least Wile E. Coyote's appearance at FAN EXPO Boston this weekend hopefully spread more awareness of the film. Hopefully, should the movie be successful, it doesn't end up becoming the Looney Tunes' last hurrah if the Paramount-Skydance buyout is successful. But I guess that wraps up this little update on what I've been finding in my sleuthing on what could possibly happen to Warner Brothers. And stay tuned to this channel to see whatever me or the rest of my toon chums here do next.